I doubt many, if any, saw that coming with that bend the knee scene. So, when you have your MC who's establishing that this monstrous force in front of me that looks like if Upgrade from Ben 10 went around a mechanical squid of some sort. Fantastic design, just want to put that out there. He's like, that presence is more intimidating than anything from The Room when he was being selected as a candidate for the Archdemon's position, right? The fact that he's literally saying, I can't deal with it, no one here can deal with it, this is too much. To only have it bend the knee for its king, because that symbol on his hand is enough to... Because here's the thing, if Zagan's able to establish that that thing's more intimidating than me, and I can't defeat it, the same probably goes for the creature at hand, that the demon that Barbatos was ending up summoning. Because it makes sense though, if that is such a level of status that you are essentially king among men, demons included, I mean, at the end of the day, think about a king. There's plenty of kings that are weaker in swordplay than many of the knights that protect them, but they still bend the knee because that's their king and they know their place. That's essentially the level of status that Zagan now has. And the fact that he commanded, when he initially said go away, and it didn't do anything, I was like, uh-oh, we are about to throw hands. But one more command with that intimidating voice, that thing basically said, yes, daddy. I did not see that coming. I thought we were, if anything, I was expecting Nephi to do something because we know she has that ability, like maybe something with her, you know, magic that isn't magic would be able to do something, and instead, he made that thing bend the knee without even trying. The power this man wields is next level, and the solution with Barbatos was fantastic. Of course, I have full live reactions though over on my Patreon. If you want to see my full link of thoughts to this or any of these wonderful Archdemon episodes, it's going to be over there if you're interested. So, I really liked what they did with the resolution with Barbatos. I'm not sure if people have an issue with it or not. I personally love this character. I'm glad he's sticking around. And I think the idea of basically like, go ahead. You want to try to kill me? Go ahead. I'll defeat you every time. And when I do, just give me the good stuff. Basically, him and Aqua from Konosuba would get along in terms of getting the bubbly. Because it makes sense when you think of it, right? Like, they generally did feel like friends, but it was almost like a slap to the face when you realize last episode what he was doing all this time. But the thing about it is this isn't a typical friendship dynamic where it's like, okay, once your friend tries to kill you, you know, you can't really do a forgive and forget. In most worlds and circumstances, I'd agree, but in a world with sorcery, honestly, stabbing each other in the back kind of feels like it might happen every other week, and then you go and have brunch with each other like nothing happened. And that seemingly is the dynamic we're gonna get. And they do further establish that they legitimately did grow up together. Like, he continuously came over. There was probably plenty of times when he could have stabbed this fool in the back or anything, but he did keep him around longer than he would have, or at least attempted to, if he didn't have some level of compassion. The thing about sorceries and witches and warlocks is I feel like when they legitimately have connections, it's not going to be uncommon for you to probably try to poison or stab your friend in the back because of gains, and it's not going to be taken too personally because, well, at the end of the day, that's how the world operates. If anything, you can kind of look at the end of the episode when everyone in the general market and inns and stuff are talking about the new Archdemon, that being our boy. They're actually speaking pretty fondly of him, and they're kind of surprised, being like, oh, he actually seems pretty nice, he helps people, because that's not what they expect from someone in his position. So it's like, if anything, Barbatos is just acting as someone would in this world, and because Zagan is such an anomaly, he's actually being, you know, warped into not being as shitty of a person as he naturally wants to be. And I think, honestly, their back and forth, I'm going to try to kill you, you're going to get me drunk dynamic sounds fantastic. Though I think the unexpected star of the episode was the resolution of what they did with Nephi and him. So, you knew Nephi was coming back, of course. There's no other way to push her away at this point. But what really surprised me was how they continuously managed to manage the slave situation, because as I've said since I started covering this show, the thing that's nice about it is that they somehow walk this line of not making the whole master-slave dynamic feel manipulative, because almost right away, he separates that. He says, I'm going to try to break it, and then he does break it, right? And I think it's interesting because, like, on one hand, like, she still is viewing it as such, and, I mean, we're getting closer to her not, because, I mean, now she's calling him by the first name. But the almost idea of taking back the disrespect and the torment that she went through by now wearing that collar proudly, I'm sure there's going to be people saying, well, this just negates it, but it doesn't. Anyone who's actually talked with anyone who's dealt with abuse, whether physical or emotional, a lot of times you take back that pain that was inflicted on you and you use it for your own pleasure. and you use it as like this confidence boost. And in a way, like that's what she's doing with that. Well, yes, that color originally degraded her, treated her like an object to be sold. The fact that it's in a weird, twisted, romantic way, it is almost like an engagement ring, but she's taking back that power for herself. And I think the fact that, while yes, he still is having a hard time, to be fair though, he actually progressed faster than a lot of people in his shoes. He got halfway out the love word, so props to him. But yeah, then he freaks out saying, "You're my say," and he goes crazy. But bitch, she likes it. She's into it. She's like, you know what? She's into that daddy dom shit, man, and she's just rolling with it, and they managed to make it wholesome without making it feel manipulative or exploitive. Very, very few anime can manage a master-slave situation like this and not have you have to make excuses on why it's okay and why she actually feels this way. Where with Neffy, she actually does, because he freaking separated this whole thing from her. There's no Stockholm syndrome, there's no power imbalance. This man literally tried to separate from her. Like, it works so beautifully and is blending this wholesome dynamic meets really interesting world. The whole like casual reveal about how he overwrites and basically perfectly copies and matches to negate someone's spells on the fly like that. More information about how he did it when he was a child. The guy, for understandable reason, is being selected as the Archdemon. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. And while I assumed he was going to be able to deal with the big demon in some way, the fact that it bent the knee is such an impressive moment, and I think really, because here's the thing. It would be different if it was just like, oh, he was fearful that thing. No, he's like, that was stronger than everyone in the room's aura when he was selected. And it bending the knee, this opens up so many possibilities. Like, where is he gonna go in terms of power? We know he's a pretty wholesome guy at the end of the day. I mean, the general villagers are also seemingly pretty okay with him. They know he has a cute elf bride. And the whole dynamic of not knowing, like, you have this great romance of not knowing what their situation is. Like, he should just say life partner and make it so easy. You have that beautiful stuff going. You have the frenemy dynamic with Barbados, which is great. The Archdemon stuff. People gonna try to kill him. That snake guy at the end, I mean, seemingly was gonna do exactly that. And then you have all the stuff with the actual demons and, like, what might get summoned, who bends the knee. I mean, conflicting, like, okay, I mean, you are our king, but we want to go kill humans. And he's like, I don't want to kill humans. A lot of shit up in the air, but that bending the knee scene was definitely my favorite thing I've seen in the show today. Like, there's things that I feel like you can kind of see coming, and then there's things that just completely sideswipe you and try to isekai you, like Truck-kun trying to hit its next poor victim. And honestly, I felt like that bend the knee scene kind of hit me like Truck-kun would with your generic ass isekai characters. And I'm here for it. This show, very pleasant surprise, and only getting better if we're being honest. But let me know what you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring the bell so you know if I went up a little more. And like I mentioned, got those full live reactions over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we have Chris He, Danny Chow, Wormboard, Kurokaku, Sheen1815, and we have Nipu. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.